Hi everyone, we are here with our next episode, and today I have another interesting guest for you guys. Her name is Ashma, and she has been in the education sector for more than a decade. And that's the whole point of this podcast to get you to listen to people who have spent a lot of time in education and trying to, do something to make it better. She has been a teacher, a very passionate one, and then she also says that she is a learner as well. So that's an interesting perspective. We'll get to hear about it today. Uh, a teacher as a learner, and she's right now very much focused on driving people and the culture teams across different organizations. So here's Ashma for you. Welcome, Ashma. How are you?
Oh, thank you, Aman. I am really excited. I think, just looking forward for this conversation. Though I do hope that these were multiple things that we talked about. We are able to make sense of like education, teacher, and then how come people and culture. But it would be a great conversation. Looking forward.
Perfect. Yeah, that's how the podcast rolls.
Well, this is the first one, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I will start with a very quick one, which is I think which always interests me because I always want to know what has been the overall experience for someone who has spent uh, a decade in the education sector or maybe a long time in the education sector. So if your career in the education sector was a Bollywood movie, what title would you use?
I don't know if you remember or not, like Bollywood is life. So this should
I
be an
do.
easy one for
I do.
me. But confusing because now there are multiple things coming to my head. Like I think um, hmm, it would be Bande Achhe Hain. I think that would be the name.
Hmm.
I can tell why, but I think that would be the name.
No, no, you do need to tell why. Otherwise, yeah.
I think that caters to my motivation, my internal drive, and my external belief as well. For example, I think the entire journey of now, I think I just hit 15 years in the sector, is with a constant belief that people you are working with and people you're working for have the best of interest in place.
Hmm.
That is one. So वो बंदे अच्छे हैं. I do
Hmm.
think the reason why I do what I do is because I think people just need to be nicer to each other, accepting of each other, happier. हम बंदे अच्छे हैं, right?
Hmm.
And in all of this, I think other most critical part is this in this journey is meeting like some amazing people who are part of my life who've made this journey possible in terms of me doing this journey and the impact that we're looking for and
Yeah,
wo bande achhe hain. So I think it talks to just each and every aspect of it. So that would be a name.
that's interesting. But I'll push you one step further here. So,
Yeah.
I'm guessing Bande Achhe Hain is the name that you would choose for a movie that you would want to make, right? But if you
Yeah.
had to choose a name from the existing movies and mainly like the Bollywood, not to
Got it.
be prejudiced, but it's like, do you have a name which would resonate with you?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But I think this is also from a song. There's this song called Bande Achhe Hain. So it's not like an original thing.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick from existing names, I think Jazba would be the one.
Jazba.
While Jazba,
Wow.
the actual movie was a flop,
Hmm.
but I hope this one is not.
Hmm. Hmm. And why is that?
Because I think because you asked about what keeps this like defining your journey, the only thing that keeps me and everyone going is
Is
the passion, right?
Jazba.
It is
Hmm.
the your jazba and my jazba could be different, but it is what it is, right? Like what are we
Hmm.
driven about? Like I
So
think
that
that
is what
defines what
drives
we do.
you.
That is what drives me. That is what defines who I am as a person. That is what makes helps me make the choices and all of that. So yeah,
Hmm. Jazba. Interesting. It's
it has a
always,
nice ring to it.
yeah, I think it's always interesting to hear the answer to this question because everyone
Yeah.
has a very different perspective. So as you
What would be
mentioned,
yours?
what would be
Have you
mine?
thought about that?
I haven't really. I'm still discovering, but I think what would be mine? Let me think about it. Maybe by
Before
the
the end of this discussion.
yeah,
Yeah?
maybe
Okay.
because I have not really thought about it, and it's a difficult thing to think about as well. What would you say? Which movie would you choose as your journey? Okay,
I love how
but
you're making your thinking aloud.
yeah, I mean, because it is not as easy as it answering a question about your
Right.
work, but you have to relate to things. Right?
Yeah. Agree.
Movie.
Yeah.
This will keep on going in the back of my mind,
Not ending before
and by
we
the
have.
end of this episode,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll have at least a couple
Yeah.
options.
Yeah. Yeah. Done.
Jazba. So, like you mentioned passion. So, I think I would like to ask you. Uh, you worked with Teach for India, which where you actually essentially was a teacher. You were working with the children, and then you have also worked at uh, a program level where you are managing a team of people with Teach for India as well as other organizations where the team is working with the schools.
Yeah.
So, how was that experience like being yourself in the classroom and then working with people who will be in the classroom, but you are not? How was that experience like? What were
Yeah.
some of the similarities and differences?
I think the first thing around that experience would be that I think I was lucky for me to feel that it was very organic for me. Um, I as a person work really well. Like I'm not very driven by like goals which are too far. I think my best self is when I see like a creative tension. This is what I know. There's scope for me to use what I know or what I enjoy and like something that I don't know, right? Like and
Hmm.
every time when I moved from classroom, which was in Teach for India, to working with multiple classroom, it was me able to what I knew was what worked in the classroom. What I didn't know was how do I do it with somebody through someone else. Then, when I
Hmm.
moved from working in classrooms, multiple classrooms, to working with a school, the unknown aspect of that was how do you make sure that so many other people who have not seen you in action take you? Like the big learning for me was take hear from you, right? And
Hmm.
then when we moved on to cities, it was how do you contextualize all of it, right? So I think
Hmm.
every step for me, and then at systems level, it was like a completely different ball game on even answering why will they do they
Hmm.
know what they're doing, like why will they even hear us, right? Like so I think at each step for me there was a question that was unanswered which kept driving me, and there was parts which I knew how to handle which kept me excited, right? Like so that's why I feel like this journey for me was probably it was slower than what it is for a lot of people, but it really worked for
Hmm.
me to keep my sanity, to keep my drive to be a long term player in it. um, that being said, I think I actually feel similar similarities.
And
I
there
don't know how
might
to
not
answer.
be any. I mean,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean I don't know how to answer that question, but I'm going to give a shot on a similar question in my head. Is
Hmm.
I feel like the move from classroom to ecosystem made me understand when I was. Have you ever talked about my student Chandni?
I don't think so.
Okay. I taught them in third and fourth grade. My something I would take pride in, like my success story, right? Like this was a child who was least interested, not just in education, but even her being. Like she would come in however dressed she would want to be, not having taken a bath and all of that. And
Hmm.
we were lucky to find that she loved maths. It clicked for her when maths clicked. Education clicked for
Click
her
for
when
her. Yeah,
education clicked. Life clicked for her.
that's the
Her
journey.
father, right?
Yes.
Like her father was like, thank you teacher, like you changed our lives, right? Like
Hmm.
what a beautiful story, like for me, what a success story, validating for me. I'm like, this is my success story, like this is what I did in the fellowship. I went back to that classroom after a year, and I'm like, where's Chandni? Because I needed validation, right? And I got to know that she was married, right? Like, and this
Oh.
was in grade 5. And I'm like, impossible, because her father was such an advocate. So they had gone back to their village, and
Hmm.
like the child and the father both being like, yeah, what a beautiful world it is. And then I think people that they used to live with, everyone's like, hey, dude, she has too many answers now, too many questions. Like, she's becoming a person of her own. Who's going to marry that girl?
Hmm.
Right? The pressure from the ecosystem was so much that he gave in into it. Like somebody who was an advocate, who knew what this was doing to her child, like in all the good things, he couldn't survive the pressure and he agreed to get her married. He, when I did meet him, like, of course, there is,
Hmm.
like, you're torn, like, it was probably not right, but there was no way out that, and this told me how, I think for me, just the importance of ecosystem
Hmm.
to be successful in the
It's
classroom,
yeah.
but at the same time the importance of classroom to give our students the opportunity to experience safety, to experience love, to experience who they can be,
Hmm.
right? I think this taught me both. And when I was in the class, like, that, I think when I was working with the ecosystem, I constantly thought about how important classroom was. When I was working in the classroom, I constantly thought about how important the ecosystem was, right? So I think the if I
Hmm.
had to say, this has helped me also answer this for myself. I think the similarity is how they can't exist independently.
Yeah.
You can't
That
have a
makes sense.
successful classroom if you don't have a great ecosystem, or the other way around, right?
Hmm. That's a very good way to put it. Like they both kind of go in tandem. They will both influence each other. They would both
Yeah.
impact each other, and yeah. And so, was there any moment in your journey when which was like a big surprise for you in terms of moving from a classroom to a school level role or a systems level role? Was there something which, oh wow, this is something that surprised you?
I will accept, as a biggest mistake of mine, is that when I started teaching, I did buy it into the um, not so good belief around teachers that they don't want to work, especially in our public schools.
Hmm.
And I think when I met a few teachers, I knew how much they wanted to. So I think the
Yeah.
biggest surprise, and I'm glad it happened for me in like beginning of my journey, was that they want to.
Hmm.
Of
Yeah.
course, like for anything else, there'll be somebody who doesn't want to. There's somebody who's extremely dedicated. But I think for me, the bell curve where it is, they want to. If you could give them place that enables them to do it, they want to,
Hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
that for me was the eye-opening surprise. And saying it out loud, I feel guilty of like starting my journey believing that they don't. But since the day I've known this, I've been like, I think it's a I judge people when they don't believe it, right? Like, it's a bias that I have made. Like, they do want to work.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
excited about the children that they teach. They are their children, right? It's so I think that was the biggest surprise for me.
I think I would agree because when you are outside, you can think about these things in a very different manner, and you can't really understand what is going on inside the system. And yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was something which I also realized.
yeah,
And so this was when you basically when you were working as a teacher. So this was a surprise for you that okay, uh, I
yeah.
we
I
have
think because of
people
my
to.
co-teachers, right?
Hmm.
Because of my co-teachers, like I said, I was lucky that this happened for me right in the beginning.
Hmm.
And then through the journey, I think that it just kept on validating this belief for me, right? Like, I met teachers who wanted to make the change. I met principals who were like dying with their passion of like making their school work for the children. I met officers in the government who were like, hey, this need to happen, like when they talk about children.
Hmm.
So I think because of the belief that I had built for myself, I was, like we talk about manifestation and all of that now. Like, I think maybe that's why I got an opportunity to meet all these people at different points, which just validated my journey. So I think it wasn't surprise anymore, but it was just I would say they were the powerful moments for me. Like, every time
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
reminder came, it just made me have this conversation with a lot more conviction, with a lot more examples of like how everyone in the system is committed to the cause,
Hmm.
right? If it's not happening, it's not that they don't want. It's a lot of it is because there are challenges in making it happen.
Let's take a trip down the memory lane for you, right? So you are
Love
an
that.
engineer, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always interested in any engineer's story who have, changed their career path and taken some
Yeah.
other direction and some other
Yeah.
profession as their uh, career. So you were an engineer, and now and then came into the education sector, and now you are into the this whole domain of the people,
Yeah.
like managing people and the culture systems at an organization level.
Yeah.
So how did you like get into the education sector? Like what motivated you?
Actually, it's not that big. I think for me it was always there, right? Like what I did lack was, how do I say this is what I want to do, right?
Hmm.
Like like a lot of us who come from small town where the only careers is engineering and doctor at that time.
Yes.
So everything else was volunteering, right? Like what we now call development sector. I didn't have that vocabulary.
Hmm.
What we now call like human rights
Yeah.
is not the vocabulary that I have, right?
Yes.
I knew that when I was in 11th and 12th, I was very clear that I wanted to solve, like, there were some instances in news which made me feel that thoda unequal sa treatment hai. Like, it's not fair. Like, some people are treated differently, some people are treated differently.
Hmm.
In those moments, it was economically driven. Like, rich people
Hmm.
being treated not like, at least those instances were not caste driven. I do
Right.
understand right now a lot of those nuances, but I'm talking about when I started thinking about it.
Hmm.
So I knew that's what I wanted to solve for. That's all that
Hmm.
I knew. I didn't know how, I didn't know what.
Yeah.
So I was like, I will do journalism
Hmm.
and I will bring these issues out and fight for these rights, or I will do law, right?
Hmm.
But I think initial conversations back home was to do engineering. I was a decent student. I had decent marks, so everyone felt like I could do it. In fact, like IIT kar sakte ho, but it was never something that I was driven about. But got through a decent college and did that. But through and through, like I said, it was always about uh, at some point getting to solving the problem. Then still didn't know how. And then I think even when I was working as an engineer, it was in my head stopgap. I picked up Infosys not because I was very excited about programming. I was
Hmm.
good at it, but I was excited because Infi had a really great CSR wing,
Hmm.
right? Like, and I was like, this is what I will do. At
Hmm.
that time, though, like when you start as systems engineer there, you don't get access. You can again volunteer. It can't be your career in the beginning.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I don't know how it would look like. And thankfully, a very close friend of mine then told me about Teach for India, which then
Hmm.
gave me the opportunity to do what I always thought was something I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and gave me the vocabulary to tell myself before anyone else, hey, right, this is what I wanted to do, right? Like, I think I was able to talk to myself first
Hmm.
and put it all in like a words, frame, journey, what it could look like before I started pursuing it.
Yeah.
But having said that, I think it was, I don't know how you'll feel about it, but it was never, education was never my goal, right? Like working as a teacher or all of that. It for me was
Yeah.
always the means.
Hmm.
Even, and that's why you will see the change, and that's why you will see like very easy changes for me from teacher to school leader to now people and culture. Like, I think for me, um, education was a means to solve for the problem that I was talking about. And now over the years, when I've been able to nuance it out for myself, I think the problem that I'm trying to solve for, I mean, it sounds fancier than it is. I think I'll rephrase that. What drives me
Hmm.
is if every day the world around me is a little more accepting of people.
Hmm.
So basically, can it be easier for everyone to be themselves? Can
Yeah.
it be a little more happier for everyone to be themselves?
Hmm.
That is what I was trying to solve for, and I thought education was the way to do that.
Hmm.
And because I think over the years, having done therapy, having gone through multiple conversations with my closest friends, talking your
Yeah.
heart out, like it was a journey to accept your own self, right? Like, I think I did that when I was 33.
Hmm.
but I feel like not everyone has to have that difficult journey, right? And people
Yeah,
have
that
even
makes
more, like
sense.
they do it even
Yeah,
later, right? I think
yeah.
so. That's what I was trying to solve for, and that's what the journey was about. Like how engineering was a stopgap thing. I knew I wanted to solve for. Now that I know the word was social equity,
Hmm. Yeah.
and which has over the years made me even double click on that. And what I want to solve for is what drives me is if people are a little more happier being who they are,
Mm.
right? And
And
that's
not
what I did
just
in the class.
happier, like they are able to do that as well, right? That's what you said. Like it's easier
They're able
for,
to,
like they are able to be what they are,
yeah,
basically.
that's the
Yeah,
goal. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. One to be, and then I think just finding the joy in that. I think right now the challenge is even at the tactical level of can I even be who I want to be,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like, I mean, uh, we'll come back to education, but I think I am a very emotional person. I cry, not cry because I feel weak, but crying helps me center my emotions, right? Like
Hmm.
physically center my emotions. So if you have a difficult conversation, there'll be a tear trickling down.
Yeah.
Right? Not that I'm howling, but there's a tear
Yes.
trickling down. And in school, that's a sign of weakness. In workspaces,
Everywhere,
it's weakness, right? Like in,
not just
I
school.
think
Yeah.
in school it's weakness. In workspaces, it's like, oh, now I can't work with you. Like you make everything so difficult. So
Hmm.
now I call it out very, very openly, even in a hiring interview. Hey, like this is how I react, and like you can ignore that, or if it's a problem, I'll walk out for some time and come back. But what if it was okay, right? And that's where education comes in. School comes in actually.
So
If
I think I would want to know, like, what do you think are the biggest challenges or barriers in terms of uh, people being able to be themselves, especially in India, in our context. So I think that's something that comes to my mind. Like, what do you think there are of course there are very uh, like known barriers in terms of maybe the socio-economic thing, and also as far as my understanding is, I think it is if you are not at a certain level of socio-economic status, you can't really uh, you can't really think about expressing yourself, because you have to think
yeah,
about
of
other
course, yeah,
important things, which is
yeah,
how do you survive, how do you sustain your family, or
yeah, of
maybe
course,
sustain yourselves.
yeah.
But so I guess my question is, beyond these factors, are there any other things which you feel are preventing people from maybe being able to be themselves?
No, I'm glad you called that out, right? Like we let's be very clear with the fact that some things are like the basic, not basic, are like need to be in place for you to even talk about it, right? Like I need to have the roti kapda makan in place for me to start thinking,
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm going to do whatever it takes
वो
for
तो
me
हाँ
to.
चाहिए ही. Yes.
But I think some of the things that as a society we ended up doing which made it more difficult was what a roti kapda makan looked like, right? What
Hmm.
an existence meant, right? Like, is dal chawal not okay, and being able to afford a pizza the only way to do it? It sounds like coming from a lot of privilege, but all that I'm trying to say here is that um, chasing not financial independence, but chasing like a level of
Hmm.
finance,
Yeah.
right,
Hmm.
is one of the things, right? Like where success was measured by marks, money in your
Yes.
account,
Right.
that, right? Like so
Hmm. So.
that's one thing.
Hmm.
The second, I think, just the, and which I don't think is society, I don't know if it is or if it is not, but just the human nature of being part of the crowd, right? Like if everyone's done that, then that's the right way to do it,
Hmm. Right.
right? And not by ourselves, by people who are raising us,
Yeah.
right? Like them believing it. It comes. I'm going to assume that it comes from the right intent,
Hmm.
right? So them thinking that that's the only way to do it. Them coming from a space of care that hey, if they do something different, then it's going to be difficult for them,
Hmm.
right? So I think a little bit around our childhood, how we are raised,
Yeah.
how the right intentions also make it a little difficult for us to be ourselves. Plus the like a double click on what you were talking about, the socioeconomic things.
Yeah.
And the last thing being, you don't have an opportunity to feel that it's okay to be yourself at home. You don't have it at school. You don't have it with your friends. So then, not having experienced that,
Hmm.
right, is
Hmm.
another thing. And that's where I think like schools come into place, because when I, as a parent, is raising a child,
Hmm.
it I can see how that child is the only one experiencing certain thing in 50 children around me. But when I do that at school, I'm doing it for 50 children, right?
Yeah. Right.
That normalization of, hey, we are all different.
Hmm.
That normalization happens when it happens in larger numbers, right?
Yes.
So, not taking away that, not saying that schools ki zimmedari hai, or like it's
Hmm.
only that, but just saying
Hmm.
how each one of these things played critical role, and how schools can still play a role
And these are,
in
I
enabling
think,
that.
these are really important factors to consider, and I think that makes me think actually that like what really sh- should be the purpose of a school. I think that takes me into that thought, right? Because apart from the home environment and the external environment, school does play a major part in terms of
Yeah, yeah,
how children are basically behaving, how what kind of things are being incentivized, and then of course there is that peer group and that peer learning, which we know at least from our experience, and I think the research also backs it that peer group always kind of takes it over in terms of what the children would learn, what the children would try to do, what would be comfortable for
yeah.
them to do. So I think I would like to maybe take it this into a direction where, let's say, if someone has to get their child admitted to a school, so what kind of a school would you suggest they should look for, and what would be some of the factors they should look for in a school?
I think there's an ideal response to it in my head,
Yeah,
and then
let's start
there's,
with that.
yeah, and then I think there's about, like, talked about a little bit of peer pressure, right? I
Hmm.
think for me, if I have to, first of all, like, I've had these conversations with my friend. If I had a child and I was sending them to school, I would send it to a government school which is managed by one of my friends.
Hmm.
Or like, like how there's partnerships, various NGOs work, because that's what I would do. But yeah, the
But
idealistic response. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
think so. My point is, what are the factors that you are
Yeah, yeah.
looking that are
So
basically going into that decision making?
I think I would want a school that helps my child make decisions, make choices, actually,
Hmm. Make
make
sure.
choices for their own selves, feel empowered enough to do that.
Hmm. And why is that?
Understand, uh, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Like, I'm just thinking, like, what are two, three things in my head?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Understand what, like, a microcosm of what a world could be,
Hmm.
but not to the T, because, you can't really do all of it. So just making them world ready.
Yeah.
So that. Building those interpersonal skills, because to be able to have healthy relationships,
Hmm.
um, and knowing knowing how to build or have built the skills to do all of this, right? And right now at school level, these skills mean a lot of literacy, a lot of those. But like, again, all of that, not because my child needs to know it,
Hmm.
but this is all what is it is adding up to, right? Like, why do I read English or Hindis to communicate better? Like, just towards the three things that I said.
Hmm.
That's what I would ideally want to feel empowered to choose a school. But to be very honest, I think right now I haven't been able to, also because I don't have a child right now. So it's
Yeah.
easier for me to say that's the school that I want to do.
Hmm.
But I do know I will feel pressured with the fact if my child uh, does not. learn course at the same level as everyone else, right?
Hmm.
I know I will feel pressured for that, and that's why I think in my head, when I was thinking through all of this, anticipation is like I build a community like the village for my child, where like similar thinking people, so that all our children feel okay
Hmm.
doing
Yeah.
that, right? Like, so
Yeah.
my child has a support system just like I have.
Hmm.
So, like, not doing it as a rebel, but doing it as a group, so that it's an easier battle. The whole idea is for it to be an easier battle,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I think right now I will give into the pressure of academics,
Hmm.
but I ideally want that to be the means to the other things that I said, and I would be okay if it wasn't taught the way how we look at academics right now.
Hmm. That's interesting, actually. I mean, for
But I mean,
me,
sorry, can I just add something to it?
yeah, yeah,
Right.
sure,
And
sure.
again, I
Yeah.
think this just makes me aware of, I think this I'm able to say because I know I can teach my child how to read light,
Yeah.
right? So I know if the school doesn't do that, they're not going to lack these skills, the basic,
Hmm.
let's say, foundational skills of.
Yeah.
So I'm just aware of that, right? Like the reason why I'm able to do that is because I know I will solve for this basics, and I don't need the school to do it for me if
Hmm.
they choose not to do it. So I can look at them
Hmm.
to, yeah, for education and not literacy.
Hmm. So, and it's an interesting point that you mentioned that you might. So, what really like struck out for me was that you would also think about that pressure that exists around the education system in India for the marks in the assessment and that whole the whole marks thing, right? So I'm really curious to know that why would that really play a role if everyone else around you is thinking about that, or why is that a factor in your decision making?
Ask me again, why is what a factor?
The pressure around the marks. So you mentioned that academics will might
Yeah,
become a factor
yeah,
which you might not really want it to become,
huh,
that you might understand that why it is not the most important
yeah,
thing. But
yeah,
and did I understand you correctly when you said that on a maybe ideological level or a
yeah,
philosophical level,
yeah,
you still know that this is not the most important
yeah,
thing, that how many marks does the child get,
yeah,
or how is he performing in academics.
yeah.
But this will still become a factor in terms of you deciding the school's like quality, or the school's performance.
No, I think like I said, like I know it will, and that's why, like, how I'm looking to cut it is that my community, my support system believes the same thing,
Hmm.
right? So that I don't give it, like, let's say if I was living in a world where my current support system is not there,
Hmm.
right? And if everyone around me is just someone who is running behind numbers and who's running behind grades and all of that,
Yeah.
then I will feel the pressure. I might still choose
Hmm.
not to do it, but in my head, I know what my child is losing out on,
Hmm.
right? And I think it comes from the fear that I don't want my child to have the trauma of missing out,
Hmm.
right? Like, so like I said, like, I think I'm looking of how can I normalize it for my children, right? If
Hmm.
I'm able, which if I'm able to do it through my community,
Yeah.
then I would not give into it, right? And that's why
Yeah.
I've always been conscious of having a support system where our value system aligns,
Hmm.
right? But I know, like, as a, I think we all carry baggage from our childhood, right?
Yeah.
And how I will try, and I'm aware that my child still might, right? So this is just like making sure that they have, I think, I just want to make sure that they have avenues to do what everyone else is doing
Hmm.
as well, but still being more aware of why am I doing that.
Hmm. Okay.
It's not I'm not doing it just because everyone else is doing.
Hmm.
that's that is not what I want for them, but I want them to have avenues to do all of that,
Right.
but with a very strong awareness of, like, having a choice. Hey, if it's not making sense to me, then I don't want to do it. And when I say me, I mean the child.
Got it.
Yeah. So I
So,
think it's coming from fear of
mhm.
how my child would feel.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part in terms of how parents think about their
Yeah.
child's education, right?
It suddenly made me empathize with my parents, yeah. Right? I want to go back and say, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it would, right? Because when you are a parent, you would think, I don't know where it comes from, but I believe that we should not really compare uh, how different children are performing. I think
I
the
agree.
but it still plays out, and it's very interesting to
But Aman, I think
think about it.
I will slightly change that statement. I still agree that I'm not talking about my child performing similarly.
Hmm.
I am talking about them having similar avenues,
But
them having access to those avenues.
access to
Right?
avenues,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. So, for example, what I don't mean to say is that, I mean, hey, you got 90%. I think, Ashma, you should get 90% too.
Hmm.
That's not that I think I have made peace that I'm not going to be part of that rat race.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that if Aman has avenue to a literary club,
Hmm.
I want Ashma to have that avenue too.
Right.
Right? If Aman has an avenue to study like all these subjects and like like a
Yeah.
integration which I never understood what it was, I want my child to have that avenue too, and them being able to choose if they want to do it or not. So I think for the reason,
You have
so
the
just correcting
option.
it there,
You're just
yeah.
saying you
The
have the
reason why
option
I'm giving in is not for my child to do all of that. For my child to have the avenue and the choice to do all
to
of
do
that.
it. That makes much more sense. Yeah. So let me ask you something which might be relevant here, which is uh, in your school journey, as when you were a child and when you were a student yourself, was there any teacher that you really liked or that influenced you?
Yeah, yeah, very clearly. And I never leave an opportunity to take their names, right? Like I think one of them was Arbos and one of them was D Divedi, right? Like I think, and I'll tell you why two of them. One of them, D Divedi, was somebody who made it, like we're talking, who made it okay for doing things the way you want,
Hmm.
right? Like she was still she still taught us physics and science and everything, but um, I learned through teaching, right? She provided me those avenues wherever possible,
Oh, okay.
right? Like wherever
And
possible.
when you used
I
to
don't know if
teach.
she did that intentionally. I don't know if whatever, like, but I give credit to her. A
Hmm.
lot of my things were like, hey, I want some child in the class to be able to learn because it is their learning style.
Hmm.
I didn't know about learning styles and all then, but like just the fact that we all learn differently, right?
Hmm.
So that's what she did. Then I think Argos was my first time ever experiencing what a safe space looks like.
Okay.
Right.
Hmm.
There were instances where I just felt like I wanna leave this school right now. Like have those arguments and just tell you are doing this wrong, you are doing this wrong, not fair. Like I always had a very high justice sort of a thing, right?
Yeah.
And she, number one, said that it's okay what you feel.
Hmm.
And number two, she would just tell me these quotes, which she wouldn't say, Ashma, it's okay what you're feeling. She would leave a quote for me, which will make me, which is a way of saying it's okay
Hmm.
what you're feeling. And if you need, like, I'm there, like some or the other quotes there.
Okay. Hmm. That's good to hear. Actually, these
I
are
don't know, they
very
were just
different.
such beautiful teachers. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
and very different as well, right? Both of them.
yeah. And I mean, I just hope that they know I've not been able to ever get in touch with Bose ma'am ever again. And actually, before today, I don't think I ever called out Divedi ma'am
Hmm.
also so clearly. I just hope that they know. I think I'm going to try after this and see if there's
Yeah,
a way to reach
yeah,
out
you
to them.
should definitely reach out to them. So,
Yeah.
coming back to the question of parents choosing choosing a school for their child, if you had to, let's say, think about that process, and not even the process. I think if we think of it in this way, that uh, what kind of school or what kind of people are required to, let's say, build a school which can actually provide whatever is needed by the child. And
Yeah. I mean, before answering that, can I just go back and when you were saying before that, like parents choosing school, I
Mhm.
feel like every parent tries to get their child the best school in their capacity.
Yes.
Some parents define that best with their own internal parameters. Some parents define that best on what the best looks like in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah,
the world.
yeah.
And I think that that is what they do. Like each one is trying to give the best school, but well, like if your internal and external matches or not, that is where the whole
And I think
thing
at that,
happens.
I think that's the question I am trying to come at, and maybe let's address that. I mean, if I am a parent, like, how do I go about this thing? Like, because there are so many schools in all the cities in India right now. So, and there is so much marketing about what the school represents, and
Yeah.
there's so much, and most of it is around the marks and the assessments, and clearing the board exams, getting the highest marks in the board exams, or clearing certain entrance exams. So in that sort of an ecosystem, if a parent is trying to give an education which is holistic, let's use that word, for the child, how should they go about it? Like, what's your take on it?
I mean, I think in my head right now, school and education are two different things.
They definitely
When
are.
I am
Yeah.
right now talking about school, I am talking about the current schools that are there,
Yeah.
right? And in current scenario, if I go find what's the best school for my child, right?
Hmm.
So I think for that, it's important for us to know like कि school का purpose क्या है, right? Like in the
Yes.
sense, I'm not talking about what education वाले sense में,
Hmm.
like why am I sending my child to school? Like as it, am I looking at school as a complementing partner to my
Hmm.
upbringing,
Hmm.
or am I looking at this school to be the sole partner to my upbringing, right? Like in the sense that I don't have time. Like somebody, if we were talking about the socioeconomic thing, right? Like if I'm
Yeah.
somebody who's trying to make sure that we have the roti kapda makan, I want the school to be able to give it all,
Hmm.
right? But as somebody who feels safe in terms of the hygienic factors, I am looking at a school to complement what all I can add to my child, right?
Yeah,
Like
that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah.
It
So I
cannot
think
be a
that's,
sole entity which can, yeah,
yeah,
because.
but I think for a lot of people it is the sole entity, right?
Hmm.
Like for a lot of our parents who send their
Hmm.
children to government, for first generational learners, for people with economically not so privileged, like
Hmm.
for them it is the only place,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
For them the school needs to offer not just academic excellence but like a academic excellence plus exposure opportunities plus activities that helps them build the, like you said, the holistic aspect, like help my
Yeah.
mind, help my body, help my soul, right? That sorts. But sadly, like the people who need those schools are the ones who can't afford those schools,
Yes.
because I,
Yes.
right, like so that's a different conversation altogether about the current reality. But I think so when you're looking at schools for as a sole um, provider of all of these things while you are
Hmm.
working on the basics, um, this is all that, all of this needs to happen in school. But if you're looking as some, as a school which partner, who's your partner, then I think you have the choice of, okay, like I can take my child around the world, get all the experiences, but academics is where I need the support, or
Support.
like I
Yeah.
think I'm able to take care of the academics part, like I need them to be able to build like the exposure piece or like the physical activity piece, or like I can handle it all. I just need somebody, like I actually want a homeschool because I have it all, but like I want them to build social skills.
Yeah.
So then if you're looking at them as partner, then you need to understand what are you offering, and then uh, Like the
Hmm.
different schools have different
So
aspects that they're really good at. So then
essentially,
you,
we are saying like the capacity of the parents. Like if the parents
yeah,
have capacity to play
yeah,
some part, or
yeah,
maybe in get involved in some sense in terms of the growth of the child, then it's
yeah,
a different way to look at
yeah,
what school would do. But if the parents
yeah,
do not really have that capacity, then the school becomes
yeah.
really like
But you see
really
the irony
important.
in that statement, right? Like the ones who need the school to be all of it are the
Yeah.
ones who get none of it.
Yeah, that's the sad reality. I mean, yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how to solve that, but that is the reality right now.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. So let me shift some gears here in terms of like if we look at so these are very different problems to solve, right? One is children for whom the school is the sole place where they can really get educated, and children who might have access to some more sort of education in the informal sense at home. So if we talk about this second segment of children, like because you were also a teacher once and you have also coached teachers, you have worked with teachers, do you think there is something which is very basic and missing in terms of how the teachers are teaching in India, or if not missing, something which could really add on, and one mindset shift or one skill which could really
yeah,
change the classroom and which could
yeah,
really help out the teacher to basically cater to all the children and
yeah,
improve the learning environment for them.
yeah. No, of course, there are certain mindsets that I think would be more empowering for a teacher, right? Like, if a
Yeah, look,
system is able to make
what's
them,
the first one that comes to your mind?
I think, teaching towards learning and
Hmm.
not teaching towards teaching. What I mean to say is, I'm not teaching because I have to teach or like finish this lesson,
Hmm.
but I teach till you are able to grasp the concept,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
I think that that is
And
not
I
so
think
much a
that is the
mindset, but that
essence.
is a very execution pace. Ki, matlab, I've done the lesson, it's done, or
Hmm.
I've done the lesson and we've talked about and we've seen how you're able to find it, and that's when it's done,
Yeah.
right? Like, so what completion looks like. I think it's an execution thing and not so much a mindset thing.
Yeah, I think it also comes to basically like what is the goal in terms of you like why are you teaching? You're teaching so that
Yeah,
children could learn
but
something,
I mean,
right?
I don't know if it is my answer. Like, why am I teaching, or it is if you are like I'm the teacher and you're the principal, let's say,
Hmm.
or it is you asking me, hey, did you finish this lesson, or you asking me, hey, did your children learn, right? And I think
Yeah.
breakdown could be anywhere, and then of
Yeah.
course, like for
Yeah.
you, what's the question the person above you asked, right? So it could be a breakdown at my, which is the teacher level, but it could also be an influence of
Yeah,
accountability.
that actually brings us back to the ecosystem level, right? Because
Yeah,
that's an organization level thing. School is also an organization,
yeah,
and it also bring us to the culture
yeah,
piece. Like, what is the culture in that school? Like, is the culture where very top down, where the principal or the school leader is
yeah.
kind of saying you have to do it? There is no buy-in, there is no enrollment, and you just need to do it. Or is the culture where you are collaborating with the school leaders to decide what you want to teach children and then actually execute it?
Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, my cat wanted to be part of this entire scene.
No worries. That's
Hanji.
the attention need. So yeah,
I
it depends on the culture of the school, right? How what kind of a culture is in the
I'm not
school?
sure. I mean, like I said, right? Like I think it could be, at least here. It's not just the school, right? Like it is also, how our system works, right? There are teachers, there's principal, there's school inspectors, there's,
Hmm.
right, like the education department, like the entire journey. I think it is about, at a systematic level, what does accountability mean, right now with the whole
Oh, I think okay, okay,
focus
okay,
on
okay.
foundational.
I got it. I think we are thinking of different schools here. If I speak about private schools only, it's not.
Got it, got it, got
Yeah,
it. My bad, my bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, not your bad, but I think we were thinking of
Yeah,
different
agreed. I agree.
schools.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
looking at public schools. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Because public
Huh.
schools is a very different ball game. It's
Exactly, exactly. That's where I was going.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but if we go about like say private schools which are affordable or like mm, decently affordable or even the most affordable
Yeah.
ones, so on those, that's the context that I am thinking of right
Agreed,
now.
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed, agreed. Yeah, yeah. No, no, then I agree with you. It is about um it is largely about like how do you do the but no, again, I think the system still has a role to play because your children are
Yeah,
going to sit in
definitely.
the exams,
Yes.
right? Ultimately, they will all merge into the same place. You come from private school or you come from
Hmm.
public schools, right? They're all sitting for the same exam. They're all
Yeah.
going on, right? Like
More.
at some point they merge. So I do agree. I think largely it will still be about um, and again if it's an ideal scenario, right? Like where every child learns similarly. These are all grade level classes where every child is at the same learning level. I don't think we'll even be having this conversation, right? Like
Hmm.
the challenge is currently in execution. It is not so. Not every child learns the same way.
Yes.
Not every classroom is learning at the same level, right? Now with that, you know that if I have this lesson to be taught in 60 minutes, you get a class which is homogeneous, I get a class which is not, I can't teach in 60 minutes. But we are both set for the our children need to be sitting in the same exam at the same time,
Right.
right? So I do agree like a school level changes would make it way more easier,
Hmm.
especially in private schools and where you can get the number of teachers you want. It's not like centrally allocated
Yeah.
where you have the liberty of working with kids in terms of teacher skills and all of that. It will be it I think it will be a smaller problem than it is in public schools, but
Hmm.
there is slight contribution of the systemic even here. Like I don't think we can remove it completely. Little bit exists even now.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, the external ecosystem will always be there and it will always
Yeah.
impact the
Yeah.
school. You can only limit its
Yeah.
influence. So, if we talk about these private schools which are affordable, and I think one thing that comes to my mind is that there might be children who want to do certain things but are not able to do it because the system kind of drives you into a direction, and you in your journey has have taken certain steps where you have pivoted from, let's say, an education and engineering to education. Then in education also you have taken different roles in different organizations, and then you have pivoted to now a very different domain, which is people and culture. So if you have to suggest something to these children or these parents, like what has helped you to take these kind of
I love
shifts?
that question. I love that question. Um, it's not been easy.
Oh,
It's not
definitely
been
not.
smooth.
Yes,
I
definitely
I'm
not.
aware that I think mine has been easier than others, but it's not been smooth, right?
It
Like
cannot be. Yeah, it cannot
yeah,
be.
right? I think of course the size reduced gradually. I think the shift from 10 years in education space to the culture space had lesser resistance than moving from engineering to um,
Hmm.
into the development sector.
Yeah.
But I love that question. I think, and what I was talking about, how parents do what they think is the best, and that's where it came from. I think I'm able to now answer that when my parents asked me to continue engineering, do engineering, not leave engineering, all of that came from a point because I was telling them I'm going to do something which was unknown to them, not just to them, to our entire family,
Right.
right? So the fear, I don't think, at least for my parents, it was social stigma,
Hmm.
but it was fear of not being able to, fear of not knowing if your child will be successful
Successful.
in
Yeah.
what they think successful.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Of course, the
Yes.
money, of course, the stature, and all of those things.
Yes. Yes.
I think it was that. Now, again, like I do think it wasn't from the social capital that they could have built, but it came from a point that why am I signing up for a hard journey?
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
Ashpa, you can get marks, you like science, you're really good at programming. Why do you want
Yeah.
to leave all of that?
Yes. Why? Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Like, that's the main
Right.
concern of the parent. We did not
Yeah.
teach you all these things so that you also have
Correct.
to kind of
Yeah.
struggle, right?
Yeah. So
Yes.
I think they that's where it came from, and that's where.
Right.
And when I say resistant, it was like nahi, don't do it, which a
Hmm.
lot of people face, right?
Yes. Yes.
But I think lucky for me, it was more like kyun kar rahe ho, kyun kar rahe ho? It took them so many years to understand what I do.
Hmm.
I don't think both my parents can still tell what I do.
Hmm.
They do know she's in some senior position now. She's happy doing what she's doing.
Hmm.
That's it,
Yeah.
right? But they don't,
Right.
right? But I think in all of that journey, it is. I had also taken a decision that I am not going to be like I am a rebel who convinces.
But my question is very like one level deeper. Like, if someone is trying to do that, that's so. Where I'm coming from is uh, there will be many children who might feel that way, that this is not the path for me, right?
Yeah,
At any point in time, it could be
yeah,
any, like, it could be any grade, it could be any uh, college level classroom, or whatever point in life they might feel that this
yeah,
is not the right thing for me.
yeah,
So, hello. So, what has kind of given
yeah,
you the what has empowered you, or what has energized you, or what has given you that motivation to take those steps
yeah,
towards that calling?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's what I'm trying to come at.
yeah,
And all, and from the perspective of how can someone else, you know,
yeah,
get
yeah.
inspired or take motivation to do that.
I think I feel like this is talking to your stakeholders in a way that works for them. In the sense, in my case, my stakeholders were my parents, my
Hmm.
family, right?
Hmm.
Uh, I I really spent a lot of time to make them see why I'm doing this,
Hmm.
right? Like a lot of time,
Hmm.
right? While I did continue to do that, but I never closed the chapter till they were able to make peace, right? So
Hmm.
when I did leave my engineering and did the role that I was doing at Teach for India,
Hmm.
um, now I'm doing, I could have just left that, right? They
Hmm.
can be cribbing about it in their own space, but
Yeah.
I always brought that topic up and be like, questions like, is there something that I can answer? So I think
Hmm.
it is a hard journey, but if I'm doing that, see, either it's okay if people have the strength to do it themselves and face like the questions, or like not give a shit about it.
Hmm.
That is
Right.
one way, which works for a lot of people. I know some people very closely,
Hmm.
um, and I think that's a great way as well, because it just takes away one type of mental
Yeah.
stress,
Right.
right? If
Yes.
I would have done that, for me, it would have given me a different kind of mental stress, right? Like, so
Hmm.
you and I are different people. We look at resolution in different way.
Yeah.
For me, resolution is alignment,
Hmm.
right? That's why I spent like years to get them on board to this
Hmm.
idea. So I think I put in effort there, but at the same time, not giving into, right?
What
Like,
way?
I didn't
Yeah.
stop doing what I wanted to do, but everything I did, I came back and told them why I'm doing this and why I'm happy at doing this, acknowledging that I know, like, for example, for my mom, the biggest stress was that I earn less than my
Hmm.
friends. While in the friends that she knew, I was the one who got the most marks, like GPA in college, right? So
Hmm.
for her, it has to be
That's
that
a
you have
big
to earn
one.
the most, you
Yes.
have to get the biggest
Yes. That's a big
package and
one.
all of that,
Yes.
right? And so with her, my conversation was always around it,
Hmm.
right? Like how I am independent, I might not save, but I'm also not excited about a car.
Hmm.
That's not what my drive is like, right? But with my father, like, I think he weirdly ended up asking some really deep questions in like, in a very, I don't know how, like, he's like, are you happy doing that? Are you sure? Have you thought thrice about it?
Hmm.
And then I'm like, "Ha, Papa." He's like, "Okay, right."
That's so
So to
cool.
him, it is cool, right? Like, and I wonder how,
Yeah.
right? The first time that happened, I thought that he said it by mistake,
Hmm.
right? And because he doesn't come across as somebody who's like thinking these profound things and all of that, but he ended up asking this question, and at very critical junctures, he ended up asking the right question: "Are you happy?"
Hmm.
Right? Like once he asked me, "Are you happy?" I'm like, "Papa, that's all that I. That's like therapy,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yes.
like, are you?
Yeah,
Is this what
and
you
like,
want to do?
and next
What?"
level therapy, right?
Right? Like he once asked me, "Are you sure this is what you wanted to do?"
Yeah.
Once he told me, "Ashma, your pattern is that you don't get um like, you have 1 to 3 things that you want to do. Your most where you
Hmm.
want, then okay, what will he's like, that in experience you have not gotten the number one, right?
Hmm.
So how can you, he's like, तो number 2 के बारे में सोचो, think about that,
Hmm.
what will excite you there. I'm like, अरे, right? So
Hmm.
I think he's ended up asking these questions. I never thought that
Wow.
he was that. So with him, my conversations were always about, okay, now I'm doing this shift, Papa, because I think it's really taking a toll on me. I don't respect the person I'm working with and all of those things. So like with both of them, it
So
was very
you
different conversations.
so for you, what I hear is that like basically getting your parents on board with what you are trying to do, and not just
Yeah,
what why you are trying to do it, and spending a lot of time on it has
yeah,
enabled you to take those kind of
yeah,
shifts.
yeah. But I do think
Hmm.
people, at some point, everyone realizes that they are better off doing what they want to do,
Hmm.
of course, with the hygienic factors in place.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And
And I think that's where the game is, the hygienic factor.
that's where I am telling you this. I am very well aware that this conversation is full of privilege right now.
Hmm.
Right? I
Not just
am,
privilege, but I think everyone defines privilege also very differently. Like
yeah, man, but
what
like, I
could
think the
be
fact that I
privilege for
don't have to
someone
worry,
might not be the same
I
for.
agree, I agree. But I think the fact that I don't have to worry about food on the plate
Mhm. Yeah,
does give me the flexibility of think, what do I like doing?
yeah,
Right? And I'm
that's
well
true. That's
aware
so
that the
true.
day that's the challenge, and
Yes,
uh, I will go back doing whatever. Like this idea that I don't like the person that I work with are all because I can afford to think about those things and take decisions.
yes, yes.
Right? So
That's
I
true.
do think it's empowering to have that safety net.
No, I agree. I mean, without a safety net or without if you have to worry about तब अगर रोज रोटी खाने का मतलब
Yeah.
चिंता करनी पड़ रही है खाने की चिंता करनी पड़ रही है तो फिर
Correct.
कहाँ
And
पैशन और कैसा पैशन.
that is where my whole idea of school comes in.
Hmm.
Right? Ki if you're struggling about this at home,
Hmm.
it becomes such an important responsive, I don't know the right English for this, like it becomes
हाँ तो हिंदी है ना.
so important for the school to deliver the highest standard,
Hmm.
because despite the challenges you want that person to have the same opportunity,
Hmm.
right? Again,
Yeah.
access to that opportunity. I think the game changer is the access.
Access. Yes. Yes. Access and quality. I mean,
Access, and yeah, access to quality actually.
access to quality. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Actually, yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah, right. And that's where the whole this emotional conversation around good education, around great schools come in, right? Like it is not about where my child will go only, it is about where every child will go, where despite the fact if the family is struggling about, like if the family is thinking about roti kapra makan, can the school still push the child on the same journey?
Hmm. Yeah, and I have some thoughts about it. I think I am still thinking about it, which is like मतलब मतलब sustainable बनाना कैसे उस system को.
Hmm.
That's also a point. So I am coming from a very different point of view here. एक है वो right. This is like a rights based approach कि हर बच्चे का right है to get the best quality of
Yeah,
education,
yeah,
and
yeah, I
and
get
then
it. Yeah,
and then
I actually
there is this other
have to
way
do
of
it.
think, like how do you do, in a country like India, for example, here in the US or maybe in any other developed country, uh, it's a very different context, but it's very simpler in some sense to think about this concept that कि हर बच्चे को वो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले कि जो बेस्ट एजुकेशन है वो उसको मिले, और
Yeah.
फिर वो उसके थ्रू जो भी वो कर सकता है कर पाए।
Yeah.
पर
I do have drastic opinions on that. I really think one of the most drastic things is only government schools exist.
yeah, I mean that would
The
be the
minute
best.
your child will get to the government school, you will demand the best for them.
Maybe, but
You will not be okay with your child getting like a teacher who's absent. You will raise voice. You will
yeah,
question. That will result
yeah,
into the school getting better.
that's a very like what was the right word, मतलब एकदम वो मतलब क्रांतिकारी तरीका है इस चीज को करने का।
Correct.
है
मतलब,
ना?
but वही है कि it's the only way to go. I do think the 25% reservation was a great
Hmm.
tool that could have enabled this.
Yeah, but sadly it has not.
Because it's not been implemented right, like, but I do think
Yes,
I
yeah,
still think there's power in that
but
if we had to go the non-krantikari way.
it has definitely yeah, but I think it has definitely made the schools to think about this. There will be like 25% children who are coming from a different context, who might not have certain, background or certain level of skills, and ideally the schools should, and maybe, and I'm sure they are also thinking about it, how do you integrate those children into classroom, differentiation kaise
Yeah,
leke aana hai. But I think
I
that's the
hope
right
so.
direction to move in.
I hope that the schools are talking about it. Not that I've heard.
Yeah, maybe we
If
should
I've
check. We
interacted
should,
with 10 schools, I've heard from one.
I think it would be good to
Which
know the school's perspective as well. Why are they
actually,
not,
that's a great idea. That's
right?
a,
That,
I also, yeah, that's a great
and
idea. I think
my
talking to
sense is
society.
that uh, like
No, I do
making
know. Like,
schools financially viable in India is a very tough
yeah,
nut to
like
crack.
somebody in Power, Raman, if you tell me, Ashma, kal se you will feed me lunch every day,
Hmm.
right? And I right now feel ki my lunch costs me 50 rupees, but you're like, Ashma, I will give you only 30.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? I will, of course, put less stuff in your lunch. At some point, I'll have
hmm.
to find ways around, right?
तो
Like
करना
when it's
पड़ेगा।
costing me 50, not even when it's costing me 50, if I give it to you, if I give it to five other people, if everyone's paying 50, you're like, nahi, 30 only you will get. And you have to feed me.
Yes, yeah. It's a
Right?
tough problem to crack. I think it's a
It is. I
very
agree.
systemic
It
level
is.
issue. It
Yeah.
has,
But I do have like hope from RT. Yeah, I know it's been time now. There are places where it's done wonders, but I do think I still think that's a game changer.
yeah, that's true. I think, yeah, I'm just not. I have opinions about this, but just thinking that maybe I need to research more about this before I
Yeah.
say something which might not be true. So
But I
that,
love the idea of talking to schools.
yeah, and I whenever, because whenever I have spoken to schools around this part, it's just only a couple of schools. It's
Yeah.
always about the viability aspect, because they are not, and I think my one of the hypotheses I have here is that the government is basically making private individuals do their job.
Hmm.
It's government's, I believe that government's
Yeah. Oh,
job,
yeah. I get what you're
it's
saying.
government's job to basically
I
ensure
get what
that
you're
they have, there is a right to education which has been instituted by the government, and
Yeah.
we are paying, all of us are paying taxes. So it's
Yeah.
the
No,
government's
I
job
agree.
to basically
I'm,
fill that gap, right? Wherever things are not working out,
yeah.
you bridge those things through
Yeah.
the finances, or
I.
you bring those funds. I don't know how, but,
That's why I was like, let's go Krantikari only government schools. No, but
yeah.
I agree. I agree what you're saying. I think I totally agree to what
And
you're
then
saying.
government is kind of maybe,
Yeah.
and maybe it's a very
Yeah.
difficult thing to do. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, the one of the things that I have in mind is that it's government's responsibility to actually also
Hmm.
think about the schools. If I cannot sustain my school, then the 25% quota does not help anyone.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
school will only be closed. स्कूल ही बंद हो गया तो फिर उसके बाद 25% कोटा
Yeah.
का क्या होगा, कुछ फायदा थोड़ी है उसका.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a systemic issue, and it has a lot of dimensions to it. Yeah, okay, that was a good discussion.
Yeah. No, Parts of
So
me are like,
yeah, if you think about it, if you start to think about it from a problem solving mindset, it becomes a very very complex issue.
yeah, yeah. To be very honest, I think taking the easy way out, it was one of the reasons why I moved into the people and culture as well.
Hmm.
I felt like my locus of control was,
Yeah.
I just
Hmm.
could see it
Yeah.
going so far away. And
Hmm.
I have such huge respect for people who are spending their lives working on this problem, right? Like, and
Yes.
yeah, just hats off to them. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy knowing to
It
do something
requires.
right, you have to ask so much कि please हम कर ले हम कर ले हम कर ले.
Yeah, and we have
Right.
seen that firsthand, right?
That's why I think immense respect.
Yeah. Okay, so anything you would like to say to future educators, like in like a one liner or a two liner, which you feel could really motivate someone who is thinking about education or who is already an educator in anywhere in the world, but
Yeah.
what would you want to say to them?
I hope that they know that they have the power to change lives.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
they have the power
They
to change lives.
they have okay. They, and with power comes responsibility,
Of
right?
course.
Like, so they have, like, the minute you choose to be teaching, you've been given the power to change lives.
Hmm.
Now it's on to you how you choose to change it. Right? It is the way you make them feel. It is the way you show up. It is all of you.
Hmm.
So yeah,
So you have the power, guys. Okay, and I think this was a really thought-provoking discussion, at least for me. And everyone else out there heard our thoughts. Now it's your turn. If you could change just one thing about the education that you are seeing around you, what would it be? Make sure you comment it out on our YouTube channel or our Spotify podcast channel where all these episodes are. And thank you, Ashma. Thank you for joining
thank you,
us
Aman. But
today
you're
on
not
Chalk
leaving
and
before
Change.
telling your movie name.
Movie name. Okay, okay. You still remember
If you
that? Yes.
start your next podcast with that, I think that's also okay. If you need
Hmm.
time to think.
No, I think
But that's a promise you make right now.
the I think I have something which does come to my mind, and this is Andaz Apna Apna.
Okay.
And I think why that comes to my mind is because, uh, especially in the context of things we have been talking about,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I could see that connection.
I feel that because we were talking about the extent of this problem and the scale of this problem and the complexity of it, I feel that my journey has been very chaotic in that sense as well. I have like I am an engineer, and then I worked uh, as an engineer and as an analyst, and then Teach for India, school leadership, startup, and then I'm here. So I think that makes me think about that everyone has their own journey, and that's why
Hmm.
Andaz Apna Apna would be the title for my journey so far.
Great one. Now, in that case, thank you for calling me, Aman. It was really, really good. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's gotten me back into what my purpose is and just helped me make sense of the entire journey that I've had.
I'm
Thank you.
glad. I mean, my whole intent is to actually engage deep thinking in
Lovely.
people. Also, I think because education is such a vast topic, and
Yeah.
hearing from people who have had experience in it and what is their own their experiences as well as how they think about it, for me, it's always
It,
refreshing.
yeah.
So it always energizes me, and that was the
Same
intent.
here.
And
Same here. I thought, like, okay, now it's people, but I think it's all driven in education for me. That's where
hmm,
it all starts from. Thank you,
perfect.
G.
Well, thank you,
Have a
Ashma, for
good
joining.
evening or morning, whatever it is there.
Yeah, yeah, and have a yeah. You also have a nice week.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you, everyone.